So, good morning, everyone. We are present today with yet another episode of Thoughts on Education, an initiative by Collegedunia.com. Today, we have with us Mr. Gireesh Chandra Tripathi. Professor Tripathi is the DDG Academics for NTPC School of Business, which comes under the aegis of NTPC. Professor Tripathi has vast and varied experience working in MNCs, engineering, logistics, and consultancy, and then he moved to academics. Good morning, sir. I welcome you on behalf of the complete fraternity of Collegedunia, and we are happy to have you with us. So, sir, I'm going to talking you about a list of all the achievement that we are going to talk about the pandemic. We are going to talk about the academic shortfall. So, but I believe that before I start with the interview, I would rather request you to give us a short introduction about yourself, because I believe if I go on talking about your experiences and achievement, the complete interview will be a shortfall. So, good morning, sir. Let us start with your introduction.
Present in this virtual room. As Apurv has already mentioned that I am Gireesh Tripathi. My short introduction is that I am originally an engineer, a BTech and MTech from IIT Delhi, who drifted to the area of finance after having completed MBA in finance from General Bajaj Institute of Management Studies and then PhD in finance from IIT Delhi. And I moved to academics after having served the industry for about 15 years. So I am a blend of finance and engineering, as well as a blend of industry experience as well as academic experience. That's what is my short introduction.
That was what I was saying, sir. If I start with your introduction and achievement, the complete interview will be short falling. So my first question for you is, sir, the pandemic has unfolded this systematic and strategic shortfall of most of the Indian educational institute as well as the regulatory agencies. If I talk about with the sudden lockdown coming into the picture from the month of March, so where do we believe that the problem lies? What was the basic problem which has unfolded all the issues of the institutes as well as the regulatory authorities?
Okay, great. In fact, yes, you very correctly said that it was a shock of life that all of a sudden the institutes had to be closed. And institutes not only had to be closed, and we started grouping that what to do next. It took us only a couple of days in deciding that, okay, let's go online. So what did we do? That we immediately purchased a couple of Zoom IDs so that we can start conducting our classes online. Initially, there was some small little hiccups. In fact, our professors were not very comfortable. Our students were not very comfortable. Our system administrators were not very comfortable. But it took us around a week, 10 days time, and we became habitual to it, and online classes started. Now, there was some resistance from student side, because ultimately online and whatever you are used to, whatever you are habituated to, if there is any small change, the first thing in the human mind is that we are having a lot of inertia. So inertia means that we start resisting the change. Now our students, they started feeling that whatever was the look and feel of the class, that is not happening. So let's wait till this pandemic is over. We explained it to them that once the pandemic is over, we will redo whatever we are doing if we can do. So this is how we brought them in, and then we started online. Yes, the difficulty is that I don't think that online is 100% replacement of offline. Its efficiency is certainly compromised to some extent. But when there are no other options, then what to do? That was the best possible option. That's how we adopted. Not only for us, it was a little difficult for everybody. And you mentioned about regulators. In fact, I am so thankful to India and the way it adopts, that Indian regulators, who are supposed to be quite orthodox, were supposed to be. I'm not sure whether they are, but who are supposedly orthodox, they also changed themselves, and everything, all the processes of approval, etc., by AICTE, etc., went online. And online done in a wonderful way. I think they've done a wonderful job of doing things online. So I think yes, it took a little time, but everybody adopted to it, and everybody adopted well. Today, I think it has become the acceptable mode.
Rightly, sir. I do believe that evolution is the only change which is not only set by the teachers, but they've also implemented it across themselves also, because it's got very hard for the student as well as for the teachers to adapt to all the changes. But anyways, changes is the only constant. So my second question for you is, sir, COVID-19 has ill impacted all the sectors, including higher education. How has NTPC School of Noida adjusted to that? What is your vision in the near future for the NTPC School of Business?
Great. Again, a very pertinent question. Yes, pandemic has changed several things permanently. Even if we are back to the normal, some activities or several activities will never turn to what they were originally, because in this process of pandemic, we found out several new ways of doing things, which earlier it was not known. So it has affected all the industries. In fact, extremely sad that some such industries like hospitality, travel and tourism has been hit very, very badly, hit below the belt. And I don't know how much time it is going to take in them completely recovering of it. Education also is impacted, but education probably is impacted not to the extent these ones which I just now mentioned. So yes, thankfully education is less impacted, because India has adopted well to this need of online education, and probably the mobile telephony, which has become so wide in the country, and every nook and corner, mobile telephony is something which is very, very popular, because that helped. In fact, if that infrastructure, that telephony infrastructure would not have been there, then probably adoption of education this easily, or transition from offline to online, that easily would have been impossible. But that's what, thanks to the generation of mobile telephones across, so education is less impacted. Yes, there has been challenges in some parts of the country which are remote. The access of our material or online material or online classes, so we're not able. But we found out another way to do it. In fact, what did we do? Whatever were the classes delivered through online mode like Zoom, etc., we recorded it at our end, and we made it available to the students. The ones who had some such difficulties while the classes were live, they were given the option of accessing those classes, the recordings of the classes, whenever at their convenience, whenever their bandwidth allows. That is how we adopted. Obviously, for some subjects which are quite mathematical in nature, there we had more difficulties than the ones which are not so mathematical, which are theory and discussion based. But yes, overall, I'm happy that even though pandemic affected us, I'll say that still our performance is very, very good as far as delivery is concerned. And this way, IIM Ahmedabad's association with us helped quite a lot. In fact, they had this experience of doing it online in some other mode. When pandemic was not there, that time also they were doing several things to the people who were not in India. They were doing such things online already. So since we are handheld by IIM Ahmedabad, so that their experience helped us, and we managed them well.
And that is very great question, sir. Okay, so sir, my third question is what will be the major post-COVID development in the Indian higher education and management studies? What are the major challenges that we see, both for the higher education as well as for the NTPC School of Business in general, if I talk about, or in specific, if I tell you about, what do you believe will be the major challenges that we face post-COVID?
Great. No, post-COVID, I'm waiting that, we must, in a very, very, very short period of time, must say the COVID is over. Then only it will be post-COVID. But what is anticipated? In fact, there are several good things which have happened because of COVID. And which is going to be, I think, blessing in disguise for the entire economy. In fact, COVID, is assumed or is believed that it originated from China.
Right.
So because of that fact, whether that belief is right or not, I'm not subscribing to it. But that belief at least is there. Whether this is the fact or not, that obviously is a matter of further discussion. Because of that belief, several areas in which China has been dominating, the dominance of China is going to reduce because the acceptability of several Chinese products is going to reduce considerably. And hence, because of the sheer size of India, China and India, obviously size-wise are quite different, but I think there is nobody else in comparison to what India can pose this to China. Nobody, there is no other economy, there is no other geography.
Right.
So what I believe is that this pandemic, even though not very good for the rest of the world, might turn out to be a blessing in disguise for India. India might turn itself into the manufacturing hub of the globe. If it works, my wish is, as an Indian, my wish is that it should work this way, so that it is very, very good, extremely good for India. Now, if that happens, then every sector, the activities in every sector will become a little different than what they were earlier. Education will be no different. NTPC School of Business is in the business of education focused on energy. Now, as I mentioned, that if India becomes a manufacturing hub, without energy, without electricity, without oil and gas, manufacturing will not be possible. And hence, a lot of skills, lot of reskilling or additional augmented skills will be required for India in this discipline. NTPC School of Business is there to serve this need, whatever is right now existing and whatever is likely to be rising in future. And hence, for NTPC School of Business is always ready, will remain to be ready, is always ready to serve the industry. NTPC School of Business aims to reach to the level of think tank for the industry. So it might turn out to be extremely fantastic, extremely fortunate for NTPC School of Business to serve India, its motherland, in the need when manufacturing increases and energy needs increases. Now, so it might turn out to be, that's what is my wish. For NTPC School of Business, see, you mentioned about post-COVID.
Yes, sir.
In post-COVID, obviously, online might still exist. As I just now mentioned to you, that IIM Ahmedabad had the experience of online programs because it was serving the needs of some people who are not in India, who were elsewhere. NTPC School of Business, once the need of energy in India increases and we are able to cater to it, NTPC School of Business might turn out to be in that field of energy for the rest of the world, what IIM Ahmedabad had been before the onset of pandemic. So for NTPC School of Business, it is going to be quite exciting, and I hope that it will be quite benefiting also. That's what I expect. That post-COVID, NTPC School of Business will have exciting time to deal with, and we will certainly cater to this need of the industry, because we aim to reach the think tank level.
We seriously pray the same for the Indian economy as well as for the NTPC School of Business, sir.
Exactly, yeah.
My first question for you is, there are concerns that online education in MBA program may not achieve the optimal learning result. How, in your opinion, can universities or institutions build a blended course delivery module in which we can go for the online as well as for the offline programs too?
Yeah, I agree that I said initially that online is not 100% replacement of offline. Offline look and feel is different, but yeah, online is not very far away also from there. So online, even though has been forced because of the pandemic, but now I think it is going to stay with us even post-COVID.
Right, sir.
But yes, I agree that 100% MBA or any such education which needs mathematical and numerical abilities, 100% online will not be possible. Now, what to do? Online and offline, even post-COVID, is expected to be there. So a mixed, or you can say a balanced kind of an approach will have to be designed, and I think we'll work towards it. In fact, NEP is already talking about it, that we have to have a blended way of learning. Some courses where physical interaction is important, or face-to-face interaction is important, will become offline. Several other courses, some other value-added courses could be online. So hence, a blended way of learning only is going to remain. Now, how to do it? How exactly to maximize this particular thing is, for every institution, for every type of institution, it will be different. We are in the discipline of energy. For us, several things. For example, teaching students about the regulatory aspects of energy business. That is something which probably we'll be able to do it online. But giving them what a smart grid will be able to do in the practical situation, how smart grid should be functioning, what should be the calculations related to maybe the pricing or tariff of a particular type of energy product. That kind of a thing, doing it in complete online mode may not work. This is how we will have to devise ways of maximizing this balance of online and offline, which obviously we are in the process of doing. Post-COVID, we will have to do it. We are still in the process of developing it. I won't be able to say that, okay, this is what is the method to be done. And I'm sure that for every institution, it is going to be different composition of online and offline for every institution. In the institution can decide depending on its resources and depending on the objective of a particular course.
Right, sir. Rightfully said. So, sir, my point is that when we talk about MBA and PGDM, the first four specializations that comes to in our mind is HR, marketing, sales, and others. So, when the pandemic is over, people have seen the demand arise for data analytics, big data. So, do you believe that this shift will be to the niche courses as compared to the regular specializations in MBA that we have? After the pandemic is over, will people be looking for more niche specializations in MBA as compared to the regular ones?
I agree to what you are saying. Yes, this is how it is going to be. To what extent is yet to be decided, or probably yet to be exactly, since we are in a fluid situation. So to what extent probably is to be decided, but for sure it is going to happen. HR, marketing, finance, operations, etc. are going to be there. Several new disciplines which are digital based. For example, you might have an MBA program in artificial intelligence,
right,
or artificial intelligence, machine learning, the application of theirs in different industries. That kind of thing is going to come up. One more very, very important thing, the very reason is why me and you are talking, and me and you are not face to face, but still in a way face to face. Now, this facilitation, which at the moment is happening, this facilitation again is to be managed. Right. So there might be disciplines which will be like integration of all this, integration of what is supposed to be physically happening, what is supposed to be electronically happening. So maybe an MBA in IT and ITES, that kind of a discipline is going to come up, fresh disciplines. Whether it will be at the expense of the existing disciplines, that is for future to decide. I don't think that the existing disciplines are going to fade away. But yes, their importance might be reduced a bit because they have to give way to these new disciplines, new specializations which are expected to be there. So yes, what you're saying is absolutely right. Technology-based new disciplines are likely to come up.
Right, sir, right. So, sir, being the DDG for the college, how do you strategize about the key program and plan for the administration of the college?
No, come again. I missed you.
being the DDG for the college, how do you
Yes, okay.
about the key programs and the administration for the college? I believe it's a very hard task for you to like keep all the faculties as well as the students, keep them working in an inline manner. So how do you do all that?
Yeah. It is particularly in this pandemic situation. It is more difficult than what it was earlier. But earlier also was not very easy. See, I am supposed to be managing affairs of the institution and interfaces between different entities. Now, when physically everybody was present, it was easier. Now, because of online, it has become a little more difficult. But still, see, I am a very friendly person, and I have students are my friends, faculty members are my friends, stakeholders like regulators are my friends. You are my friend. So I deal with everybody in a very friendly way, and in that, because we start with this fact that hey, we are friends. So because of that, 70% of the problems are automatically solved. Right. What is remaining is only 30%. And when we are friends, we are supposed to be solving the problems together. So my challenge reduces as soon as I'm successfully able to bring the person in front of me in my friend's shoes. That's how I do. And in this pandemic situation, yes, I missed this opportunity of meeting people, and because meeting people helps me being friendly to them and getting their friendliness. That is easier. Because of pandemic, this intent is reduced a bit, but not to the extent it starts bothering me. So as a DDG of the institution, my job is to get everybody working towards the ultimate objective of the respective stakeholders, and I do it in the most friendly way. Yes, I'm waiting for the pandemic to be over so that by this attitude of friendliness could be enhanced by physical meeting, friendliness obviously increases.
I would just love to mention, sir, I have met you personally multiple times, and I seriously love the way you greet people, even if you don't have times, but you tend to meet them. So I seriously love the way you greet people, and there are multiple things which not only the student, but we can also learn from you.
Thank you.
So my next question is how does NTPC School of Business help the student to discover their potential and succeed in today's global business scenario? That we compete with the incoming of FDIs, and we know that the complete economy and the market has gone global. So how does the NTPC School of Business plan so that the student can get a global exposure for them?
Great question. NTPC School of Business does only one thing. It tries to unbutton the knots in their minds. That's all. Once the knots are unbuttoned, then after that, the entire globe is their village, and entire wherever they can reach, that's what becomes their destination. So, and how do we do this? In fact, our first program was PGDM executive program, where experienced people come in. Now, experienced people are having experience of at least 5 years. That's what is mandatorily required. But some people are having experience of 20 years. Now, a person who has worked in any field for 20 years generally is just like almost like married to that field. Not ready to change, not ready to come out easily from that field. That is what exactly we do in NTPC School of Business, through multiple courses, through multiple interactions, through multiple assignments, so that wherever the person at the moment is shaken from there. And once the person is shaken, then in that case, the person starts finding out the next solace, not the original one, the next ones. And like that, we make them comfortable in multiple positions. Once they get into that habit of finding out new solace for themselves, then they start looking at the globe in a different way, and in a much more wider way than what they were doing earlier when they were confined to a particular discipline. And once that happens, then after that, the sky is the limit, and India or USA or Japan or you talk about the entire globe, and not only the Earth, but also the moon, and all the entire planet is with them. We open their mind in this particular way, and many times it has so happened that when they admit themselves, I tell their families, because most of them are married, so I tell their families that, hey, after this fellow goes out of this program, his face will remain to be the same, but whatever is inside the face will become completely different, and you will start loving them because they generally leave their family for 15 months. Now, leaving the family for somebody who is say 42, 43 years of age, leaving the family for 15 months is a tough job. But then I tell them that after this fellow has gone back to you, this pain which you're tolerating of separation for about 15 months, you will enjoy in the process of the new person which you get in after getting the courses from here. That's how. I gave you one example. This is what we do with executive. This is what we do also with the 2 years program. Our people, we include several such courses like Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
Understanding Bhagavad Gita is one compulsory course, one course here, which transforms people. After that, the boundaries are changed. So that's what we attempt doing, and we are, to a great extent, we are successful.
It's great, sir. It's seriously great. So my last question for you is, sir, with the economic slowdown, do you believe that the passing batch will be entering a tough job market? And what is your opinion for the students who are passing out?
Yeah, it is a tough market. It is in fact tough, not only for them, for everybody. So, and see, this is what, as I told you that, just now I told you that we teach them courses like Bhagavad Gita, which helps them reading the toughness and dealing with it. So yes, it is a tough market. We have trained them to be rugged enough to face the tough market, not only today but also in future, and come out of it successfully by using their only one asset, that is the intellect. That's what we polish. Now, how do we do it? In fact, it's very difficult for me to tell you in this short period of time. In fact, okay, let me invite Apur to attend a few classes of ours.
Done, sir.
So that you start understanding what do we do. But for sure we do it. The situation outside is tough, but it is only a matter of time when post-COVID arises. I already told you that probably it is going to be fantastic for India. And if it is going to be fantastic for India, it is going to be good for our students also. So that's what is the expectation. But yes, in this tough period, they are supposed to be resilient enough. That's what we make them here, to deal with the toughness, and they generally deal with it. That's what in the last couple of batches we have been accessing. Our students have done wonderfully well, and I'm so thankful to them that they took this challenge and came out successfully very well.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir. Thank you for sharing all your thoughts as well as your personal anecdotes. We are very happy to have you, and we wish every student who sees this interview gets some knowledge from you and learn from you and grow. And we certainly hope that NTPC School of Business as well as the Indian economy grow as the fullest, and we reach the successful life together.
Thank you for the time which you gave me.